Maybe you don't know this, but somewhere in the quietest moments of their day, your name still finds its way into their thoughts. They may not text you, they may not call you, they may even pretend that they've moved on, but their heart knows a different story. Every day, something reminds them of you, a song, a place, a memory, and suddenly, the silence between you feels heavier than ever. They think about the conversations they never finished, the words they never said, and the moments they wish they could live one more time. Sometimes they wonder if you still remember them, or if you have finally learned how to live without them. And the most painful part is this: they may be carrying feelings for you that they are too afraid, too proud, or too broken to admit. At night, when everything becomes quiet and there is nowhere left to hide, the memories of you can become impossible to escape. They may look completely fine from the outside, but you never know how many times their heart quietly whispers your name when nobody is listening. Maybe their silence was never because they stopped caring. Maybe they stayed silent because caring about you still hurts more than they know how to explain. So if you've been wondering whether they ever think about you, listen carefully, because sometimes the person who says nothing is the one fighting the loudest battle inside. They think about you every single day, but their silence is hiding a painful truth about you. Let's go deeper. Maybe you don't know this, but somewhere, in the quietest part of their day, your memory still finds them. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Like a song they didn't choose to hear, but somehow know every word to. They may be living their life, they may be smiling, they may be talking to other people, they may even act as if everything between you has become a distant chapter. But there are moments when the world becomes quiet, and suddenly they remember you. They remember your voice, your eyes, the way you used to talk to them, the little things you probably thought they would forget. And maybe the hardest part is that you may never know how often it happens, because they don't tell you. They stay silent. They keep their feelings hidden behind ordinary days and ordinary conversations. But silence does not always mean forgetting. Sometimes, silence is what happens when someone feels too much and doesn't know what to do with it. There are people who can easily say, "I miss you," and then there are people who would rather suffer quietly than admit that someone still has a place inside their heart. Maybe this person is one of them. Maybe every day something reminds them of you. A certain time of the evening, a familiar place, a message they never deleted, a photograph they still cannot bring themselves to remove, a song that suddenly takes them back to a moment when the two of you were happy, and for a few seconds, they are no longer in the present. They are back there with you, back in that moment, back when everything felt possible, back when they believed there would always be another conversation, another chance, another tomorrow. But life has a strange way of teaching people the value of something after they lose the opportunity to hold it. And sometimes, a person doesn't understand how deeply they cared about you until your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. When you were there, they may have taken your presence for granted. They may have assumed you would always be available. They may have believed that no matter how much distance they created, you would somehow remain. But then one day, you stopped chasing. You stopped explaining. You stopped asking why. You stopped trying to convince them that your heart was sincere and that silence changed everything. Because suddenly, they had to face something they had been avoiding, your absence. And your absence may have taught them something your presence never could. It may have shown them how much emotional space you occupied in their life, how many small parts of their day were connected to you, how many thoughts began and ended with you. They may not admit it, but they notice. They notice when something happens, and you are no longer the first person they want to tell. They notice when they see something beautiful and instinctively want to send it to you. They notice when they have a difficult day and realize they miss the comfort of your presence. They notice when they laugh, and then remember the person they once wanted to share that laughter with. And sometimes, that realization hurts, because missing someone is not always about wanting them back. Sometimes it is simply the pain of knowing that something beautiful existed, and you didn't protect it when you had the chance. Maybe they think about the things they said to you. Words spoken in anger, words spoken without thinking, words that they wish they could take back. Maybe they remember moments when you were trying to reach their heart, and they were too distracted by their own fears to listen. Maybe they remember how patient you were, how many times you forgave them, how many times you stayed when leaving would have been easier. And perhaps now they understand something they could not understand back then. You were not asking for perfection. You were asking for honesty. You were asking to be valued. You were asking for the same effort you were giving. And maybe they didn't realize how precious that was until you stopped giving it. That is why some people become quiet after losing someone, not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much. They don't know how to approach you anymore. They wonder if you would even want to hear from them. They wonder whether you still care. They wonder if you have moved on. And one of the most painful thoughts may be this: what if I lost them forever? They may look at your life from a distance. They may wonder whether you are happier now, whether someone else is making you smile, whether you still think about them, whether they still matter to you at all. And perhaps they will never ask, because asking would mean admitting that they care. And admitting that they care would mean opening a door they have spent so long trying to keep closed. So they stay silent. They pretend. They carry on. But the heart does not always obey the mind. You can tell yourself 100 times that you are over someone, and still remember them when the night becomes quiet. You can delete messages, and still remember the words. You can remove photographs, and still remember the moments. You can walk away, and still carry someone with you. Because some people leave your life without ever completely leaving your heart, and maybe you are that person for them. Not because you were perfect, not because the relationship was perfect, but because you touched a part of them that nobody else reached in quite the same way. Maybe you made them feel understood. Maybe you gave them a kind of comfort they didn't know they needed. Maybe you saw through their walls. Maybe you noticed the sadness behind their smile. Maybe you loved them during a time when they didn't even know how to love themselves. And people do not easily forget someone who made them feel seen. They may move forward, but certain memories remain, and sometimes those memories become painful because they remind them of what they had and what they lost. So if you have been sitting there wondering why they are silent, please remember this. Silence is not proof of love, and it is not proof of forgetting either. Sometimes silence simply means a person is struggling with feelings they have not learned how to express. Maybe they are afraid. Maybe they are confused. Maybe they are protecting their pride. Maybe they regret what happened. Maybe they don't know whether reaching out would heal the distance or make it worse. And perhaps every day they fight the same small battle inside themselves. Should I message them? Should I leave them alone? Do they still care? Would they forgive me? And then another day passes, without a message, without an explanation, without the words you may have been waiting to hear. And that can hurt deeply. Because when you love someone, you don't always need grand gestures. Sometimes you just want one honest sentence. I still think about you. I'm sorry. I miss you. I never stopped caring. Just one sentence. Something that tells you that the time you shared was real. But sometimes people realize the value of honesty too late. And that is why you should never measure your worth by someone's silence. If they are thinking about you, that is their journey. If they miss you, that is their feeling. If they regret losing you, that is something they must face. But your heart deserves peace too. You deserve someone who does not make you constantly wonder where you stand. Someone who does not force you to decode silence. Someone who does not make you question whether you are worth choosing. Because love should not feel like begging to be remembered. Love should feel safe. It should feel honest. It should feel like two people choosing each other, even when life becomes difficult. So maybe this person thinks about you every day. Maybe they remember you more often than you realize. Maybe they silently revisit the memories you both created. Maybe there are nights when they miss you so much that they have to put their phone down because they are tempted to reach out. But you cannot spend your entire life waiting for someone to finally say what their heart already knows. You cannot keep standing at a door someone refuses to open. You can love someone and still choose yourself. You can miss someone and still move forward. You can forgive someone and still protect your heart. And if one day they return, let their actions speak louder than the silence that once hurt you. Let them come with honesty. Let them come with accountability. Let them come with the courage to say what they were too afraid to say before. Because you deserve more than hidden feelings. You deserve expressed love. You deserve consistency. You deserve someone who does not just think about you in silence, but has the courage to choose you openly. And perhaps that is the real message behind all of this. Maybe you were never forgotten. Maybe you were simply loved by someone who did not know how to hold on to you properly. Maybe they realized your value after your absence. Maybe your silence taught them what your words could never teach them. But whatever happens next, do not forget your own heart. You gave love. You gave chances. You gave patience. And if they were not ready to value it then, that does not make your love worthless. It means they were not ready to recognize its value. So tonight, if you are thinking about someone who is far away, take a deep breath and let yourself feel whatever is inside you. You do not have to pretend you never cared. You do not have to erase every memory. You do not have to hate someone just because they hurt you. Sometimes healing is simply accepting that you loved someone deeply. And accepting that the story did not become what you hoped it would. And maybe, somewhere tonight, they are thinking about you too. Maybe they are remembering your face. Maybe they are wondering how you are. Maybe they are silently wishing they could go back and change something. Maybe they are missing the person who once believed in them. But whether they return or not, please remember one thing. You were worthy of love before they met you. You were worthy while they were with you. And you will remain worthy even if they never find the courage to come back. Your heart was never too much. Your love was never something to be ashamed of. And your tears were never weakness. Sometimes the deepest tears are simply proof that you cared with your whole heart. So let them think about you. Let them remember. Let them understand what they lost. But while they are silently looking back, you keep walking forward, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally learned that your heart deserves peace too. And if they truly belong in your life, they will not remain only a thought. One day, their feelings will have to become actions. Their silence will have to become words, and their regret will have to become courage. Until then, choose yourself, heal slowly, love gently, and never forget. Sometimes the person who thinks about you every day is also the person who is silently wishing they had never let you go.